Hi, Belinda.
Hi, how are you?
Hey, look, let's just start with this. My wife is a local television news anchor. She knows a lot about hot flashes, and I've been living with it with her for a couple of years. And people laugh or they say whatever, but this is, I mean, she'll be on the set doing a newscast, and then all of a sudden she's so hot that she's like starting to sweat and all that. I mean, it's a major pain. So this is a serious issue.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So what's it like to go through that? Explain to people who don't know what exactly going through hot flashes and menopause is.
Well, it's referred to as the change. When I was growing up, I always was in denial about it. I thought, well, not me, because I'm healthy. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I do yoga. Blah blah blah. And then about 4 years ago, I started getting like a pressure in my head. It was like a little explosion of sweat, and I was still in denial until the point where it got so bad that on a bad day I would get like 40 hot flashes a day. And like your wife, I remember going on stage, and during the first song, I could feel it coming, and it's like, oh, no. And then it would happen. And it's debilitating, and it's embarrassing. It's, I think out of all the symptoms, it's on par. It's probably, for me, it was worse than the mood swings, because it's like a physical thing that it's pretty horrible. Like I said, it got to the point where it was so bad, I couldn't deal with it anymore. I went to my doctor. He did my hormonal levels. I had very little estrogen. And he said, well, we could do the HRT and the bioidentical hormone replacement, but first I want you to try this little device. It's a magnetic device that you snap into your underwear. And I kind of rolled my eyes and thought, oh, right, okay, this can't possibly help me. But I said, okay. I took it home. I put it inside my underwear. It snaps right in between your pelvic bones. It's very, very small. No one sees it. And I literally went from, 40 hot flashes a day to 0. And it's a complete miracle. And I've been menopause-free for 4 years now. It doesn't affect your hormonal level, but it affects what is called the autonomic nervous system, which is part of your central nervous system. And the hormonal imbalance throws that off. So it balances the nervous system, and that in turn affects you physically. But it has nothing to do with your hormonal levels. It doesn't affect that. So, it's something that it completely changed my quality of my life. I've saved tens of thousands of dollars on HRT. I think every woman should know about it. Pharmaceutical companies have a lot to gain about, having women take HRT and promoting that. They have nothing to gain from alternative therapies. Every woman should know about it. There are women out there who can't afford HRT. There are women who don't want to take HRT. This is like an amazing, amazing alternative that could work for them.
Well, say what the name of it is, and then I'm going to ask you about some music.
Okay, it's LadyCareUSA.com. They can read all about it. It's $52, which is nothing in comparison to spending tens of thousands of dollars on drugs.
Well, and I know what it's like, and I know there are embarrassment factors in taking the covers off and putting them on, and taking a jacket off and putting it on, and dealing with all the things. Anyone who's been through it, no. And my wife has been through it. All right, I want to ask you, I didn't realize you were the oldest child when you were growing up, but you had to be sort of the adult one when you were young, and you had all these brothers and sisters, right? That's the responsible person. And you were the one that were chasing this kind of a life. What was that like?
Well, yeah, it's the caretaker and the guinea pig also. I don't know. I mean, I was kind of the experiment, I guess, for my parents, because I was the first one. I had, as everybody else has, had a completely dysfunctional childhood with, good memories too. So, yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm the oldest of 7, so it sort of put me off having kids for a long time.
Yeah.
I had my child later in life. But I have good memories of my childhood, too.
Well, and you've done amazing things. And I wanted to ask you, with social media now, how would a band that's been as popular as the Go-Go's, what kind of astronomical success would you guys have had, because you were all attractive women and that kind of thing, if you had social media to play off around the world in that day?
Of course, I think it would have been success on a different level. I can't even, but there also would have been lots of, big downside to all that, too, because a lot of, I would have been the Lindsay Lohan of my time, most definitely. I mean, I was in clubs doing, being, very, very badly behaved. But the difference was there were no cameras around and there was no social media. So I could get away with a lot of things and be pretty quiet about my problems. But, it's the young stars these days, having their whole private lives exposed as well is not a good thing.
Well, what is it like to be that? I mean, you're one of those people that there are probably people out there that still to this day are writing and telling you they love you and putting pictures up on their wall, and you still associate with the Go-Go's. I looked at your website and all that. Is it great, scary, or both? I think
social media, honestly, does scare me a little bit because you can be, you are, anybody can get to you. It makes you completely accessible, really. I mean, of course, like the huge stars probably don't read their own Twitter, and they have somebody doing it. But I have to be a little careful because I'm not anonymous, but I'm not so famous where I need to have a whole wall of security around me. So I have to really sort of walk that fine line of being accessible and not accessible, because a lot of people out there's a lot of crazy people. You give an inch and they take a mile, and then they get angry, and then they threaten. I mean, I've been through this many, many times. Yeah,
they want to be your friend, and then they want to be your only friend, and then they want to talk to you every day, and then then they get jealous and mad. I mean, that's and people go through that.
It gets kind of crazy. And I've been cyber stalked. I have a cyber stalker out there. He knows who he is if he's listening. And that kind of stuff is kind of scary, because someone who's smart can hack into your passwords. I've had that happen on Facebook. So anybody who has Facebook, change your passwords once a month, because it's really easy to hack into.
Wow, and I know you don't...
social media is kind of scary.
It can be, and I know you don't have a lot of time, but give me just one story, an insight into something that maybe people don't know from either your days in the Go-Go's or somebody that you met that you never thought you'd meet, or anything that in your own mind, when you're talking to your family, you say, you know what, this was a highlight of my life.
Well, what comes to mind, it's weirdly enough, is when I met Jackie Gleason, who, I know it's weird, but it was like a childhood. I mean, I've met everybody, but he stands out, and it was I don't know why he stands out, because it wasn't like he was a great influence on my life, but he was so charming and so dapper and so beautiful with his red carnation, his lapel, and his gold cigarette case, and he was just super cool. So that stands out. But I've played with the Rolling Stones. I've partied with the best of them. I've had incredible experiences. But that one meeting comes to mind as I don't know why. But
well, he had a bigger-than-life persona, and I'm sure that's part of it. I'd love to talk to you more. I know there are people waiting to get you on other stations, but I appreciate the time. We'll check out that website. I'll show my wife that website, too. And thank you so much for being on in Tucson.
Yes, it's a great stocking stuffer. It's a great thing. So, check it out, ladycareusa.com.
All right. Thank you, Belinda.
Thank you. Bye.
You have a great one. Belinda Carlisle.